Hey, everybody, and welcome to Generally Speaking, the podcast that bridges the worlds of pop culture and personal development. I'm your host, Jennifer Snook. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. I hope everything has been going well in your world. I have so much to tell you guys about today, but before we get started, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you reach out and smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. So you guys, I just have to tell you, I sat down to record last week's pod, and it was going to be a big one because I was going into Garlic Festival weekend. It was Garlic Festival Eve. I was ready. I was pumped. I was so excited. I sat down to talk to you guys about it, and I was 5 minutes in, and suddenly my computer glitched out and said disk full, and there was nothing that I could do about it. It shut down all of my applications and it wouldn't start back up again, so I had to just abort the mission and go to the Garlic Festival. And now we're going to catch up and talk about it, but before we do, we have to get Christy on the line because she's been waiting for this.
Hi.
Hi, cutie pie. You look like you've been doing some summer loving.
I got a little haircut yesterday.
Sweetie, it's some sexy stuff that's happening over there.
Thank you. I needed it.
Well, you got it, babe.
I did. I saw Heather and Leah yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Hairdressers that get their hair cut, there's nothing like it. So how are you?
I'm great. Did the girls tell you about the festival? Did you get the down low? Did you hear?
I did, and I said I'm ready to go. Was it amazing?
I gotta say, it was really great. It was so great. I was worried that the vibe would be different because most importantly, it's a vibe. And I've always said Christmas Hill Park was like a main character in the Garlic Festival story, right? And so I just didn't want to lose that essence. And the place where they had it was like the little cousin or the baby brother of Christmas Hill Park. That was the vibe. It felt very familiar. And then, you walk in and you don't even have to walk past the entrance gate. I saw people that I knew literally collecting tickets. It was just so awesome.
Magic.
It was absolute magic. And then I wasn't in there maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And this woman comes over and goes, Jen! And when you're there, everybody's wearing sunglasses and you can't really tell. You haven't seen people in years. And so I'm going up thinking that maybe I know this person. And she goes, I didn't think that I was going to see you here. I never expected to see you here. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, if you were someone that I knew.
Right.
You would know that this is exactly where I was going to be this weekend. And then she goes, I thought you lived in New Jersey because you always talk about Teresa so much.
Oh my God.
And I started laughing. And I follow you on Generally Speaking. So anyway, her name is Lynette. I figure she must just watch my TikTok stuff because if she listened to the pod, she would know because we talk about Gilroy a lot. So she would have known, right. But she didn't. So anyway, her name was Lynette. Hi to Lynette in Gilroy.
Hilarious.
And not just Lynette in Gilroy, but this will make me emotional. But I just have to say, I ran into so many of our friends that were so sweet and so supportive of the pod. So stupid.
It's great.
I'm not ugly crying on this thing. I'm putting my hands up. Okay, I have a grip on myself. But I just want to say such a big thank you to all of our friends in Gilroy. I had so many of them come up to me and give me a big hug and tell me that they are listening every week. And I just want to say thank you and tell you guys I love you. I love the festival.
And your mom went.
Gilroy forever.
Gilroy forever.
Yes, my mother went. And she wasn't going to go. I sent my Taylor in. Only Taylor was there, but she went in and she was like, Grandma, what do you mean you're not going to go? And my mom goes, well, I don't want you guys to have to push me around in the wheelchair. And then Taylor gave her the old, well, if you're not going, I'm not going.
Nice.
And I knew my mom wanted to go. She absolutely wanted to go. I could kind of tell. I sensed her vibe earlier. She was just waiting for someone to say, but she didn't want to be a burden, and I get that. But we weren't having it, and so we just, carted up that silly little wheelchair, and there we went. And that was the other thing, Oh God, that'll make me cry too. I can't. I don't even know if I can get through this pod.
You will.
All just so emotional, and things are just so emotional for my mom. So watching her there. I mean, I don't know if she'll be there next year. That would be like a miracle if my mom was there next year. But anyway, she was there this year, and that's what matters. And she had so many former students come up to her.
Oh,
And I mean, I'm going to put pictures. I didn't even realize this about YouTube, but there is a section where you can upload pictures like you can on any other platform. So I'm going to upload some Garlic Festival pictures there so you guys can take a look. But I have pictures of my mom surrounded by like 10, 12, 15 of her former students, and they're all telling her, regaling her with old stories about the past and, cute memories that they have from their times together. And there was this girl that I saw talking to my mom for quite a while. And afterwards, my brother said, Jenny, did you hear any of that? And I said, I really didn't. And he goes, I heard this girl talking about mom from a distance right when we walked in. And this girl was gay, and she said to her girlfriend, I think that's Miss Noons. And the girlfriend said, well, you've been talking about her for as long as I've known you. Go say something to her. She said she's got too many people surrounding her. I don't want to
yeah.
go bother her. But anyway, the girlfriend finally brought her girlfriend over to talk to my mom and said she's talked about you, for as long as I've known her. And this one, and this girl, and not just another one. I mean, there's just so many of them sat down and told my mom that she felt like, so isolated growing up gay. And my mom made her feel included and was just so kind to her. And she says that she absolutely had such a beautiful, lasting impact on her life. So to just watch my mom on
Be
this
adored.
final curtain call of her life, be greeted so graciously and so lovingly by so many people, and so many people that she loves. So many of my mom's very, very dear friends were there. This is so hideous. Listen to me sobbing on this pod.
Right.
Anyway,
Good.
that was it.
I saw her in the picture and I was very happy Cheryl made it.
That was it. Yes.
Cheryl the Pearl.
And apparently, I know I got interviewed, but apparently it landed on the evening news because I got an email from a guy that I used to work for 2 years ago when I met my ex-husband. When I met Gareth, that's where I was working up in Santa Clara at an edit house that my cousin used to work at that was right next door to my dad's company. Anyway, this guy, Roger, owned this company called Component Post, and he sends me an email out of the blue. I haven't heard from him since I got married in 1994. And he says, I can't believe it. I was watching the news and a segment about the Garlic Festival came on. And I thought to myself, oh, what a hot MILF. Great segment. That's what he said. I thought to myself, hot MILF, great segment. Sounds exactly like him. And he goes, and then I looked down in the left-hand corner and it said Jennifer Snook. And I thought, you've got to be kidding. Of course it's Jen. So, I mean, that was amazing. So, I mean, the whole thing was just like Nostalgia City. And speaking of Nostalgia City, do you know who I ended up doing that silly interview with? Standing right next to me. You will never believe this. And sorry, everybody that doesn't know these people, but was Shelly Martinez, who was another girl that we were in school with, you guys, since we were in third grade. Shelly just happened to be standing next to me when this news reporter walked over and said, hey, can I please interview you girls? And Jimmy Tomasetti, her husband, who we also went to school with, is just sitting there dying. And we were all dying. It was great.
I need to see this.
So magical.
Magical is right.
And I would just like to say, I'm very happy to hear that you are ready to make your re-entrance.
I'm ready to see people and I'm ready to
I just want, are you going to make that statement public right here? I hope everyone's hearing that.
Yes, I'm saying it to other people in my real life as well.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I'll buy your ticket, babe. That is great news. I love it. Do you want to know, speaking of other news that's not so great, did you by chance see Catherine Dennis? Did you see the video of Kath?
I saw her lives. I was watching them as they were being posted. What is happening?
Poor girl. Something serious is happening. And what is she trying to do? Draw correlations between that new girl on the show right? Because what, like something like she has the same amount of vowels in her name or something bananas like that.
Weird.
Like they took me off and replaced me with a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she's very cryptic, but she
Very
does.
cryptic, but it's like there's numerology or I don't know,
Yeah,
something weird involved, some woo-woo shit involved.
yeah, I saw it as it was live and happening.
Did you by chance, is your algorithm set to every other video is someone wondering why Sheena Shea came out and told the world that Brock had an affair on her when she was pregnant with Summer Moon? Because I feel like yours is too, right? Everybody's talking about it. I really don't understand the question. I don't understand the curiosity. It seems so very simple to me. This happened a very long time ago. They had already dealt with this. This was in their rear view mirror. And now let's really dial down on it. Sheena still hasn't received that invitation to Dancing with the Stars, right?
Right.
She has not elevated up to the Ariana's league yet, sorry to say.
And won't.
That Vanderpump Rules money, how long do people think? I mean, unless it's really well invested, it's not making money for you. And living the lifestyle that she lives, keeping yourself out in the public eye that much is a very expensive endeavor. It is not cheap at all. So I know, and what does he do? I mean, what is he?
He's a handyman. He works around the house and he takes care of the kid, right?
Right. Well, I'm just saying he doesn't seem like he's doing heavy earning.
No.
So if that Vanderpump money is drying up, there's nothing else backfilling it, then of course she needs to write a book. And what's going to sell? Oh, everything's great over here. I'm like, what's she going to say? Oh, there's nothing to look at, nothing happened. Of course, she has to give something, and she already has this prepackaged, and she's already emotionally dealt with it, so she's able to handle the blowback. She's like, no, we're good. We've moved on. And there's evidence of that, right? There's plenty of historical evidence that they moved on. They're in a good place. So of course she's going to give that to the world. So I just don't understand the question.
Right. And people are trying to say that she's trying to get on the Valley with this, but she's already on the Valley.
Exactly. And I heard her come out and say that she is officially, that we can look for her on the screens, that she will be back in 2026. And then I just heard Alec Baskin interviewed about it.
Mm-hmm.
And did you hear him say the most logical thing? And I think that was just the fait accompli right there. He said, well, she is actual friends with all those people, so it makes sense.
Yes. I mean,
right? And since we've lost Jax now, and since Jax is now off the canvas, doesn't it make sense that we're going to backfill that with some Vanderpump people that you know are like a sure bet in the drama world?
Right. Please don't bring Lala is what I say.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to bring Lala. I heard that Sandoval has been in talks and Schwartzy too.
Well,
he's another one like Lala. How long will she be able to sustain the life that she lives without Bravo money? I mean, because Bravo money is a different level of money.
Right. And these kids they have two homes, you know.
Right.
They live in Palm Desert and the Valley.
Right. And they can't go be a bank manager somewhere and keep that lifestyle up. It just right. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But you know who I am totally into right now? Have you seen, well, you probably have seen it by this point, but I'm just going to say this. Last week, I was driving to work, I think on Wednesday, and I'm in West Hollywood. I turn a corner and I look up at this billboard and I see
Nicks?
What?
Stevie Nicks?
No.
Oh,
what's happening with her?
Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham are coming out on September 19th with their either new music or it's remastered their music from before.
Oh, well, that's amazing. And I'm sure they're going to take that on tour.
Hopefully.
Oh, if they take that on tour, you should come down and see them at the Hollywood Bowl because there's no more beautiful place.
Every hair is growing on my body.
I mean, for the environment, acoustically, just.
So who was on the billboard?
Okay, I'll tell you who was on the billboard. The Queen of Malibu, Pamela Anderson, and Liam Neeson for the new Naked Gun movie.
Yes.
I look up at this billboard, Chris, and I sat there and I thought, wait a minute, they look so great together. And then my next thought was, wait a minute, and aren't they both very, very single, right? And so, and then I'm like, I'm driving away thinking, my God, they're like the perfect, they should be, they're a great couple. And then a few days later, boom, bang, there they are making out in the back of the Today Show. It is official. Did you know this? They are an official item.
I didn't know, but I've been seeing all their interviews and I thought they were just playing it for the camera. And
no, they have officially come out and they have actually said, people confirmed it. And
I loved it.
Like it is authentic. They're in the early stages of a relationship and
I love it.
And they are smitten. And that's what it said. They are smitten. And you can tell that they're smitten.
Yeah, they're perfect.
And it just feels like I don't know, for some reason, it just feels so authentic and organic. Like they met on this movie, probably.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. He's been without a wife. It's not like they've,
Yeah, and she's been married 100 times.
But always kind of to the same guy. And I feel like.
Exactly. And even Kid Rock twice.
Oh, God. And Liam is just a different animal completely. And I feel like she can really feel safe and secure. I don't know, for some reason, I have a really good feeling about their relationship.
I do too. And I love that you brought that up.
I am so excited about it. So I don't know if you saw it, but I did a video talking about the fact that since this new information has come out, I officially do not believe Denise Richards.
What are you talking about?
I 100%.
What are you talking about?
I do not believe her.
What came out?
Well, there's a lot that has come out. And most importantly, what has come out is the fact that that black eye that we saw there's no proof or evidence that it is from him. And there have been sources saying that it actually came. And here's what he's saying now, that she is, well, I'm sure you've heard that she's been having an affair, but I mean, I don't really care about the affair. And there's evidence now, he's come out with the texts that prove the affair. But what he has also said, and what makes so much sense to me, is that she has been battling a pain pill addiction for years.
We know that. We've been watching her for years.
Right.
Maybe having to deal with what she has to deal with him.
Think about this. There's never been a single police report. No, there's been no police report made of anyone ever calling to have cops come to the house. There's never been anything like that. Also, I did a bunch of digging. Nicolette Sheridan, who he was married to before, never came out and said a bad word about him being dangerous in any way or abusive in any way. And what I think is interesting is that she is only coming out with that black eye picture after he caught her having the affair and got the evidence of the affair. And then that's when she brought up this black eye. And I just feel, knowing how conniving and manipulative I became when I was addicted to drugs, I would not be surprised, because when you're addicted to drugs, all that matters is continuing to do them and making sure that the general population doesn't find out, doesn't know your secret. And then if you know that it's about to come out there and it's about to happen, then you are willing to move heaven and earth to make sure it doesn't. I am no way, shape, or form jumping to conclusions just because she produced a picture of a black eye. Especially given the fact that we have watched her slur her way around the room with an upside down jacket on.
For years
for years. And you explain to me, how long is a man supposed to live with a woman who is doing drugs on that level? I hope to God that he was never physically touching her. And there were tons of comments about, me.
Of course,
me not understanding how, serious domestic violence is. And to that, I just have to say that there's not many people in the world there are a ton of people in the world who understand it as much as I do, but I understand it just as much as the next person, because I grew up in a domestic war zone. My first memory is of my dad knocking my mom out and me having to run to the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Some of my other memories are of me running down Camden Road, which is very close to your house, in the pitch black, ducking behind cars because my dad was chasing us and my mother kept us in that environment for 102 years. So I am very familiar with domestic violence and how dangerous it is. But I also know how manipulative drug addicts are and how desperate they are to keep their secrets safe. And so I'm just not blindly siding with Denise just because she's a woman.
Yeah. So I didn't hear any of, the affair. I don't know. So we'll have to see
So
how
the affair was a real thing there, and that was part of the thing that he did take her phone. He took it to get the evidence of the
texting with the
of
guy.
yeah, and he found it. And it was after he found that on the 4th of July that then he filed, and it was right after he filed. It's the timing. It was right after he filed that then she produced the picture of the eye, because then think about it. If he gave me this eye, then he's such an asshole that you're going to focus on him being an asshole and you're not going to, pay attention to the root of the problem. Then she's just allowed to skate forward doing more of what she's always done. And quite frankly, if you don't get to the root of the problem, if you don't get to the real root of the problem and pull it out at the root, then that fucking weed's just going to continue to grow back in your life over and over again. Anyway, so that's
that.
That's the Denise update.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Anyway, so cruising on over to Miami. What about Miami?
What about Miami?
It's pretty hotsy-totsy.
I love Miami. They just live in vacation wonderland.
It's wild. This whole episode is we're still under the shadow of what went down at Guerdy's cancer-free party when she, decided to air all of Julia's texts.
That was a lot.
That was so wild.
It was, and she still thinks she's in the right.
And I really want to like Guerdy, but she's making it very difficult right now.
Same. It's too much.
And then did you see Julia and Martina where they were out on when they were on their dock? And did you see that shot of them sitting right behind the princess and the duchess at
oh yes, with the shoe
at Wimbledon? Yeah, because they were talking about the fact that Guerdy at that event was like, I mean, what was that? Oh, this is a fancy event. You're not supposed to wear sneakers. Like, I just feel like she's grasping at anything to make something big out of.
Right. And Martina says, well, there's Chanel's.
I've never owned Chanel anything. Have you?
No. But when I got my haircut yesterday, Heather told me, you have Chanel short nails.
Only Heather would know that. That's so cute.
Yeah. I just feel like I think I'm over these kids on all of the reality shows. We don't need to see these kids.
You mean like Alexia's kids?
I mean, let's just have Frankie. I love Frankie.
I know. I learned something this episode. I didn't know that the other son, Peter, I didn't know that he'd been sick before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They showed him in the hospital, and then
no, that was Frankie.
No. It was Peter, and then Frankie had his accident because she was talking about, oh, Peter, you finally had just come out of the hospital, and then your brother got in the accident.
Because Frankie's older, right?
I think so. You wouldn't think that now because of his condition, but
You're right.
I'm
talking about, like, even on the OC, the kids in the kitchen, we don't need to see anybody's kids.
No, you can hear about the kids. I know. And truthfully, when the kids are on, don't you kind of tune out when the kids are on the screen?
Yeah, I don't feel like we need to see anyone's children.
Yeah, I don't think we need the kids to humanize the show.
Right.
What was I watching? I was watching something the other day. Oh, it was this. It was Miami. I was freaking watching Miami, and I was watching Larsa, Marisol, Adriana. Who are the other originals on there? The OGs. Alexia.
Yeah.
Alexia is. And I was thinking about the fact that if you take those ones and compare them to the new ones, if you take the OGs on almost any show and compare them to the new ones, there is a distinct difference. And I would go back to every show just at its like most OG state, simply because you can absolutely see with this next gen of players how they're different because of the self-production. Like
Right.
when you look at Marisol, she's exactly who she was on season one,
Day one.
right?
All of
Adriana,
them are.
same thing. Like it's not fake. They're not putting on a different face for this show than who they really are. You're getting their authentic self.
Right, because they've always done that.
Not with Guerdy. Not with Guerdy. The whole Guerdy thing is all it's different.
She's very loud and over talks people, so it's coming after.
It feels it just feels different.
Well, it happens on a lot of the shows because
that's why I said, yeah, the other shows, like you take Ramona, you take Sonia, you take Luann, you take Vicky Gunvalson, you take Tamara, you take all of them.
Right.
Right?
They're still the same. Yeah.
They're still the same. And that's why the show is good. And that's why you have to keep a very strong OG contingent on your show, because if you get too much of this disconnected bullshit, like, which is what happened with that
New
York thing didn't work.
Right.
Everyone was too young. They, had too many ideas of their own in their mind. This is how I'm going to play it. This is what I'm going to push forth. Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. Boring. Anyway, where were we? Oh, I'll tell you where we were. Stephanie takes Larsa over to that house that used to be the ex-husband's wife's house, and she made him fucking take that thing down to the studs because he wanted
and even moved the swimming pool. Yeah, that house is going to be amazing. Her closet alone is bigger than it's half of my house.
I mean, it was 1,000 square feet just for her closet. And she's going to have a whole wall of Birkin bags.
Birkin bag per deal.
I cannot take this Birkin bag. And I'm sorry, anybody who talks about Birkin so much, Birkin my ass. I mean, enough. Really, go feed some homeless people. Go feed some starving kids with your fucking Birkin bags. Enough is enough. And also, when you have to write on labels that hard, I just can't take the labels that hard. A whole wall of Birkin bags.
Right.
She says to Larsa, I'm sorry I don't get along with your friends. Nothing's gone well yet. And Larsa says, well, this boat excursion on Friday is going to be just great. But then come to find out they've got too many broads for just one boat.
Right. So they have to get another boat, the dueling yachts.
I mean, did you see that? I know. They just hooked them up to each other and we're just going to sit there and play patty cake.
Yeah.
And they weren't really boats. They were like proper yachts.
Adriana gets wasted.
Wasted. I mean, white girl wasted, and she's not even white.
And she doesn't like Marisol. She's coming after her saggy knees
but also she's calling her she said my best friend's on that boat. So I mean, she does like Marisol in one breath, but she's really pissed at her.
She's pissed at Julia because Julia's hanging out with Marisol and Julia now. So she can't, or Alexia, she's hanging out with them and she can't take it.
Well, because she's not going to be hanging out with Guerdy, let's face it.
Right.
I mean, who is going to be hanging out with Guerdy? I'll tell you, Dr. Nicole, who it seems like is making her way back onto the show.
I love Dr. Nicole.
I like Dr. Nicole too. I honestly think that she feels like the most balanced and sane. Also, she feels authentic to me. She feels authentic. She's not crazy.
She's always been.
She's confrontational. It's not like she's afraid to confront people. She does.
She is a lot. Now you can see her husband's taste, knowing that he dated Stephanie.
You know who else Stephanie looks like is, did you hear Joey talks about her? He calls her Little Tuna. Joey Trizrance calls
Little
Tuna, and he calls Jen Aiden Big Tuna. And he calls Jen Aiden Big Tuna because that's what she was ordering at Jersey Mike's that day. So he calls her Big Tuna.
And why does he call her Little Tuna? He thinks
they look alike. And I can see it. They're both kind of obsessed with Chanel.
Okay, they act alike.
Yeah, they do, always talking about what they have and Jen Aiden and her 47 thrones or whatever the shit she has at her house.
Right.
even Dr. Nicole, when she was at lunch with Guerdy, she even said, listen, I told you that I thought that what you were doing was out of line.
Yes.
But Guerdy is so ridiculous. She goes,
Doesn't hear.
she goes, well, I didn't have any other option.
Really? Your health.
Somebody held a gun to her head. She had to do it.
Right. Celebrate your health.
It's just so strange.
Yeah, she's
Pissed off.
She's a pistol.
She's pissed. And so she then finally joins. She was late to the boat party.
Right. So Stephanie leaves and goes to Canada. She gets picked up by a boat. Her husband's taking her on a date night.
Right. 24 hours in Canada.
Amazing. And then Guerdy shows up while they're eating.
It's probably less than 24 hours, right? 12 hours?
Seems, yeah.
Yeah. So then Guerdy shows up and Julia, she is just crawling out of her skin. And I don't blame her. Can you imagine you go there and then if you like wind it back, because they do end up having this conversation at the table. Are my eyes running? They're at dinner, and the whole reason why it happened to begin with is because they thought they had squashed it. They both they went to dinner. They both thought they had squashed it, and then they were at that narcissist goddess party, and Julia decides to ask this man how to get past a feeling you have about someone that's lingering, which I didn't. Did you think that was enough to rile Guerdy up again?
Well, she thought it was squashed. Let's not talk about it anymore. So I can kind of see her view.
I can kind of see that too, but also if you are talking about it, moving past it, and still wrestling with it internally are kind of two different things, right?
Right. She's asking for help, not blame.
And also, how does she know that maybe Guerdy is still wrestling with things that this might help both of them or everybody learn how to get past stuff?
Right.
But it's a testament to how sensitive Guerdy is that this hit her so hard.
Triggered it.
So hard that she then had to go and pull up all of the text messages and project them onto the screen. I mean, it wasn't much different than what happened in Atlanta without this whole burning someone off in public bullshit.
Exactly.
It's just, it feels so premeditated and mean. And then when Julia was having the conversation with, what is her name? Starts with an A.
Alexia?
No, the other one, the Brazilian.
Adriana?
Yes, when she was having the conversation with Adriana up on those captain's chairs, and they're talking about what went down, and because Julia is pissed off that Adriana stayed there and didn't leave with her, and Adriana was like, I just wanted to stay and, see what was going to go down and kind of be the mediator. And then Adriana turns to the camera and said, let me see, I wrote this down. Adriana says, putting receipts on the wall is more benign than throwing a glass of water in someone's face.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't believe that.
So either.
At all.
No.
Because the water was a gut reaction. It was maybe clearly the wrong reaction, but still a reaction. That other shit was premeditated and planned.
Exactly.
She had plenty of time to think about it.
To hurt her. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So that switch, they're not friends anymore, I don't think. Now time.
Oh, really? Today in real life?
They're friends anymore, but I think this is the beginning of when things started shifting with them.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. And then she says to her, and I know she's going to start talking shit to me. Are you going to defend me, Adriana?
Right.
Right, and really puts Adriana on the spot.
Yeah.
And then they go to dinner, and it is tense. It is so tense, right? That Lisa then says, why don't we go around the table and all say nice things about each other?
They always do this shit. Yeah.
Because they're desperate to change the energy.
Right.
I mean, otherwise, what are they going to do? Pack up the cameras and go home because nobody's talking to each other?
Right.
And everybody can find something good to say, especially when you know that these people have such a history of friendship.
Right. What did she say? Marisol told Adriana, well, you play the piano very well.
Yes. And I wish I could play the piano. I'm telling you, there's something about the Marisol and Adriana thing that I could watch the two of them all day.
Love it. I know.
And then what about when Adriana wakes up the next morning and the producer says, do you remember anything from yesterday?
Right? She puts on her sunglasses, is like,
She goes, not much.
not much. She drank a whole bottle of champagne, she said, and then some, as we
Yeah, exactly. She says, I only had one.
Right.
And a whole bottle of champagne, and it was probably a Magnum, to be honest.
Right.
Nobody's that drunk. Nobody that drinks as much as she drinks would be that drunk after one regular bottle. That was a Magnum. That was Magnum drunkenness.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's it. That was it, right? That's where it ended. Great episode.
So good. Love it on the boat too.
Right. I love it on the boat.
Yeah.
And then we had the reunion, part one of the reunion.
So dark and heavy.
I mean, I feel like we're seeing really the reckoning of Jax Taylor after so many years of watching it build up and build up. And I will say, everybody took the stage. I thought Brittany, thank God, looked better than she's looked all season on any appearance of anything. Everything was simple, pared down. I thought everybody, for the most part, looked great.
The lighting was amazing. Everything, everyone's makeup, I thought the same thing too.
Yeah, I did notice that Jax was wearing lifts again.
Always.
Because he's a short little guy.
Because he's Jax.
Exactly. So the reunion starts out and Andy does what he does. He goes around and he says, when he gets to Michelle, he says, so Michelle, you're living with Aaron now. And she says, yeah, and it's wonderful. And Isabella's really happy. And you hear Jax, he goes, not really.
Yeah.
So like, and now knowing that the two of them are not together now in real life, because Michelle and the eyes are a lot. The eyes are a lot. I didn't do a pod last week, because I had a malfunction, but I was going to really dive into the I mean, there are a lot. On that last episode of The Valley, I was like, where are we going?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, a little spooky in the darkness. Yeah, so I thought that was weird. And then Kristen jumps in and starts apologizing to Janet off the get, which I think she kind of had to, because she did get kind of crazy with her, talking about how she was going to knock her out and shit when they were in Hawaii.
And then Janet, who has lost a lot of weight, says that she's done it with Adderall and Pilates.
Yeah, and probably a whole lot of worrying as to whether or not people were going to ever talk to her again.
Or is she going to have a job? Because we don't want to really watch the Janet and Jason of it all.
Because truthfully, the Janet of it all, it is Karen energy.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. And watching him placate her and co-sign her crazy is exhausting. I did think it was great, though, that he did stand up to her in this episode when she started coming down on poor Jesse about, she was trying to imply that he was like, is just an actor and that his tears aren't real and that he doesn't really feel pain, because she saw him crying 1 minute and then he turned it off as soon as, Michelle said something else. But I would just like to say that's complete bullshit. Some people do cry more. They just emote more, and just that's how it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I cry when I'm happy. When I'm sad, I cry. It doesn't mean I'm sad. It doesn't even always mean that you're sad or depressed. Tears. People are so terrified of tears.
It's emotion.
It's emotion. Yeah.
But I think Jax is fake. Jax is totally fake. He's always pushing his eyes. There are no tears. Tamara does fake too. There's people.
Oh, Jax does all kinds of it.
Jax's are fake.
Jax, but I knew that Jesse, when he said that he's watched Rudy 50 times.
Yes.
And he cries at the end every time. And I get it, because so do I.
Yeah.
I think Jesse's a complicated character with a good heart. I don't think he's an evil guy. I think he has a good heart. I think he is just really kind of a lost little soul inside. And then there's Danny and Nia, and they're having another baby.
4 under 4.
Yeah, 4 under 4. I mean, I thought 3 under. How old were you? I had 3 under 3. I remember that.
I did not.
You did not. Yeah, I had 3 under 3. The thought of 4 under 4. I mean, I hope not only did they move to a bigger house, but a bigger house with help. Because
Yeah, I'll bet now they got some.
especially because she's so isolated, to have 4 little ones where you don't have any friends around, you don't know the area. And let's
Right.
be real, it's not 20 minutes.
I knew, yeah.
It's I would say on the average, it's 45.
Oh,
Be like, once in a blue moon on a Sunday morning, it is 20 minutes or whatever he said. But it's also sometimes on an evening, probably 2 hours to get home.
ugh.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the thing with LA. You can't even anymore ever give like this is how long it's going to take because it all depends on what time you're driving.
Yeah, and I just don't know how you guys get anywhere on time. I'm serious.
Well, truthfully, sometimes you do get there early because you do have to leave that cushion in.
Right.
Otherwise, very often you will be late.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But everybody in LA gives at least a 15-minute. Like at the salon,
Right.
we give a 15-minute grace period because you have to. And then Andy asked Brittany the status of the divorce. And did you hear her say that Jax just called her the other night and said that he's going to try to prolong it because he thinks that he might be losing his job, which we now know that he did indeed lose his job.
Right.
And so the fact that he's going to lose his job means that he's going to hold on to her a little. He's going to wait to counterfile. Hasn't she already filed?
But they didn't turn it in time.
Oh, so they have to redo it.
Yes. They both didn't turn it in on time.
Do you remember when it seems like something that just happens with these kids? Because do you remember when on Vanderpump Rules when Schwartz and Katie didn't file their wedding certificate? They didn't file their wedding certificate, and so they had 2 different wedding dates. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but can you imagine Brittany's gone through all of this with a divorce and now she's not going to file on time?
I know.
Ridiculous. So anyway, then Danny says that Nia got him pregnant by leg locking her. Did you heart?
I'll bet.
I bet. I was going to say, I'll bet too. Then Andy dives into the Michelle and Jesse divorce. And Jesse says that they both weaponized their daughter. She says, I do not weaponize my daughter. He says, yes, you do. You do weaponize her. And then they got into that whole thing about her mother being sick again.
Right. And then she said to him, well, you're not going to be able to see, your mother isn't going to be able to see her, Isabella, at Christmas, or she's not going to allow her daughter to go see his mother.
Yeah. The 2 of them are, I don't care what they say, that's like a sad state. And they are. That's like abusive what they're doing to that kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible. And then she goes on to say that the divorce isn't final yet because he wants her to pay him back for money that she spent while they were married. What?
Right?
What?
Right.
Can you imagine?
No.
What about that $200 I gave you? And it goes to show you, I don't think that he would be this nitpicky about money if he wasn't desperate and hard up for it.
If he had it. Right.
Right?
They're saying
Nobody would be that nitpicky about money if he wasn't so desperate.
Well, isn't he living in the house and it's up for sale, but he's living in it until it sells or some kind of agreement?
Yes, and what about the fact that she's questioning? She asked him, who's paying your rent? And he goes very confidently, I am. And she goes, well, who's giving you the money to pay your rent?
Right. She's saying some gay man is paying his rent.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's the implication for sure. Or maybe it is the new girlfriend, which Andy asked about the new girlfriend. And that's a weird situation too. He's like, Andy asked, do you guys watch Baywatch? Because something happened with that girl. Legally, there was like some kind of something filed because she said that she's a private person and she issued a cease and desist to someone.
To the girls.
For talking about her, right?
Yeah, she was trying to come after them for that. And then she also...
Hold on. So you're telling me you start dating this guy that's starring on this huge reality show and you're going to send a cease and desist letter to his co-stars so they don't talk about the new girl he's dating?
Right.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then she also calls Michelle and wants to talk about parenting when she was only dating him for 1 month.
After a month, can you imagine if some broad called me and said, I want to talk to you? I would say, I have absolutely nothing to say to you. Tell my ex-husband to call me. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah. About co-parenting.
I mean, 6 months down the line is a totally different thing. Even,
right.
I swear to God, even maybe 3 months, if it's consistent and like if you're going to be around that kid, if someone was around my kid consistently,
of course,
3 months, I would want to know them.
Of course.
But I feel like that was a power play from that chick. Then Michelle says that she thinks that Jessie cries a lot, so that in comparison, she'll look cold and heartless.
She's as mellow as they come. She's just like,
I mean, she is. And she even goes on to say that it takes a lot to get her to cry.
Right.
Some people are just wired differently.
Exactly.
Some people are just wired differently. But Janet, and that's when Janet's husband piped up and said, well, if Jessie wasn't crying, he said, we were filming only like 6 to 8 months after they split up. So if he wasn't crying, like basically he was saying, if he wasn't crying, you guys would be calling him a narcissist. Right? That's what he said. And that's when his illustrious wife goes, well,
yeah,
if the shoe fits. And I thought it was hilarious when Michelle said, that Jessie got douchier as he got more money. And what's douchier than that?
Right. And so did somebody else.
Brittany, did you ever have a tongue ring? Be honest, it's okay.
Yeah, of course I would. I'm not going to lie.
Did you have a tongue ring back in the day?
So weird.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, my tongue swelled for 3 days.
Are you kidding? But then did it de-swell?
Yeah, and then it would crack, it would go on your teeth, and then my grandfather said, sister, why do you have an earring in your mouth? And then I took it out, and it closed in like 20 seconds. It closes fast.
Well, because your tongue has more blood flow than any other part of your body, right?
I only did it because the guy that I worked with, I lived in Santa Cruz, and he said, I'm getting my tongue pierced. And I said, I want to come. We got there, and he said, I don't know if I can do it. And I said,
and it just looked fun, so you thought, oh, let me do it.
If you pay, I'll do it. And I went first, and then he got it, and we suffered together. But yeah.
Were you kissing this boy at the time?
Yeah. And then I met Mark with a tongue ring. Ugh. How horrible. But yeah, Jessie, he was with Anna Nicole Smith and...
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah, that picture of him.
Yes.
Oh, he's in bed with Anna Nicole Smith.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, we did find out that what's her face is engaged. Jasmine.
Jasmine is engaged.
Jasmine is engaged. Jasmine and Michelle are engaged. So congratulations to them. I'm sure she hoped that would solidify her spot for next year. And I don't know if it will or it won't, but and then they lean back into the Brittany and Jax and what caused the final split. And I guess that was the whole Julian thing. Is that what you took from that? Like the whole Julian situation?
Well, and Jax threw her in the rose bush.
Well, yeah, but yes, exactly. But like Jax is saying that what caused his rage and anger that night, I think, was this whole Julian situation. So he lost his shit. Yeah.
Broke her phone, broke her laptop, threw the table at her knee.
Threw her into the rose bushes.
And then he denies it. And she says it's on the Ring camera.
And I believe every word she says.
Same.
I believe every single word that she says.
And I was wondering, where was your son at this time?
What about when he says, I'm not a good husband, but I'm a damn good father. And to that, I would just like to say, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Out of the house.
And to everyone else out there in the world I think a lot of people, I used to do that actually. I used to really conflate how much I loved my kids for being a good mother, right? Like it's very easy to conflate those two. But being a good mother is a fully different situation. And now I'm a good mother. Once I got my priorities straight and pulled my head out of my ass, that whole changed. That whole thing changed. But for Jax, it's a different story.
Right. No, he didn't let them live there. He kicked them out. He quit paying rent. He quit And then he said, I even quit paying my car payment.
Yeah, he gave up on everything. The fact that he lost his job and Brittany started making more money than he did and he couldn't take it and he felt emasculated by that. And you know what the truth is?
He said we're a team.
This guy doesn't know how to do life without being Jax Taylor. That was the thing. When he lost his job on Vanderpump and Brittany then took his place, he was clearly no longer the number one guy in the group. He was no longer Jax Taylor. He doesn't know how to go through life being Jason Couchy. That's why he became Jax Taylor. He's not comfortable with Jason Couchy. That's why the drugs, that's why the alcohol, that's why everything to make him feel more of the Jax Taylor.
Right.
And not allow him to sit with his little old real self and get comfortable with who he really is.
Oh, right.
And he's big on the whole he doesn't think that his main problem is alcohol or drugs. He thinks it's his anger. But
right.
Even underneath anger, there's still something else. You're angry for a reason, right? And that's the root of what's wrong with Jax. That's what he needs to get to the bottom of. And he is right that the alcohol, the drugs mask that. But I'll tell you what, you definitely can't get to the root of that while you're masking it with those other things. So just because the drug and the alcohol aren't the actual problems, it doesn't mean that you can engage in them and expect to get to the root of the problem.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's not even a part of Jax's bar. That's even gone.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why I said this is like the reckoning of Jax Taylor. When everything is stripped away from you and you are left with nothing but yourself and only your image, the reflection in the mirror looking back at you. And that's when you have to be able to get right with the person that's staring you in the eyes.
Right.
And it's very easy to hide behind all of those other things. And the minute you're left alone, it's a whole nother story. And that's where the deep dive starts. And that's the journey that he's on.
Well, we'll see. Brittany having to deal with him. What a nightmare.
A nightmare. And he very well may not come out of this. Healing isn't linear. He might have some, backward falls and come back. But there's hope for Jax. I say all the time, it's never too late to turn it all around. As long as he keeps looking at life the same way, life's going to keep looking the same way. But here's to Jax. If in the end, Jax can come out of this and be a better person, then that's great.
Yeah, I'm just happy we don't have to watch it anymore. It's really heavy.
It's heavy.
And he makes my blood boil.
It's heavy, but it's life.
Right, but get it off. Get it off our screens. It's life.
The thing
but he's never
growing. He's
yeah.
never growing. And that's the thing. It's like that. That's why I compare Jax to Teresa, because when there's no growth, then it gets stale and you don't want to watch the same fucking one man act over and over and over again.
Right.
No, that is absolutely true. But anyway, I think it'll be interesting to see how they position next year.
Yeah, me too.
How we're going to navigate next year without Jax.
Oh, easy.
Well, the thing is he's going to be ever looming, right? As long as Brittany's there, we're going to hear a lot about Jax.
I don't know. We'll see. He was away and it was fine.
But everybody was talking about him the whole time.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. And Vanderpump Rules is going to be coming in a few weeks.
Vanderpump Rules, yeah. Are you going to watch?
Of course.
You have to try. You have to try it out.
Gotta try, yeah.
Hey, you got to give it a go.
Exactly.
Do they have anyone that's coming back? Are they even going to have little old Peter, the manager?
I know. Who
Well,
knows?
Peter's going to be there he's going to be like Mr. Rogers. He's going to be like old and gray. He probably already is gray.
Right.
Anyway, no, I'm excited about it. Let me ask you this. I feel like you would have already told me, but you have not started watching McBee.
No, because I don't have time. Because I watch Big Brother. I have other things. Below Deck. I'll get
Below Deck. What about Below Deck this week with that drunk broad?
I know the drunk lady. I heard it's crazy.
Oh my God. It's so crazy. And I got to tell you that McBee, I'm telling you, please, McBee is so good. I'm about to go buy myself a cowboy hat.
Ooh. Yeehaw!
Giddy up, girl. I'm
Okay.
telling you, it is that good.
Okay, I will believe it.
All right, sweetheart. Well, that about does it for this week. I'm so glad that you were able to join us.
Me too.
And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for next July, whatever the last weekend is in July.
Right, Garlic Festival.
Because we will all be there with bells on.
I know. It's time.
I'm so excited.
Me
All right,
too.
baby, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Christy May's Garage on Instagram.
Yes, everybody, if you need succulents and you're in the South Bay, Christy is your go-to girl, the best in the West.
I am.
You know it. All right, sweetheart, I love you. Thanks so much for being here. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, that about does it for this episode of Generally Speaking. Thank you so much for being here. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please make sure you reach out and smash that subscribe button. We would appreciate it. If you've been listening on your favorite streaming platform, please make sure you give us a follow, leave us a 5-star rating, share us with your family, share us with your friends. If you'd like to collaborate or have a question you'd like answered on the pod, you can email jennifer@jennifersnoot.com. And if you'd like to reach me on socials, you can find me on TikTok at This Is Generally Speaking or on Instagram at The Jennifer Snoot. And if you'd like to get your hands on some of this adorable Generally Speaking merch, I will leave the link down below. All right, everybody, I have loved spending this time with you. Thank you so much for being here. And until we're together again, everybody, stay rooted in love. We'll see you next time.